Hi, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how you can implement and configure FortiNet Secure SD-WAN seamlessly using the FortiManager. And the illustration we are going to have here is having an hub and spoke architecture, building secure tunnels, overlay tunnels, and using the underlay of ISPs or MPLS to do that. So we have like an hub and two spoke, and we use those templates to also be able to scale. Even if you have thousands of sites, the template you're going to use can be able to make you scale at large. But we'll start with two, and I'm going to illustrate that and walk you through how to do that. I've done a couple of videos around SD-WAN, application steering, WAN liquid balancing, and all that. You can just look up my previous video to have a glimpse. Just stay tuned. I'm going to walk you through and explain how it works so that you can also implement it seamlessly. Let's dive in. So one of the things we need to do is to plan, and is to plan how we want to deploy the SD-WAN. And we're using hub and spoke architecture. We have the HQ, a site, and two spoke devices at each of those branches, each having FortiGates at the edge. So looking at this, at the HQ, we have the FortiManager sitting there, which needs to connect to all the devices remotely, regardless of where they are, so we can push our policies and all that. Then we need to plan, and the first thing we need to do is to identify the port we're using and the role they are going to be assigned to. So at the hub, the branches, we have port 5, port 6, and port 7 identified for each of this link. And port 5 is serving as our LAN interface. Then port 6 and 7, ISP1 and ISP2 respectively, and each having the IP addresses defined. So we have this for the planning so that we can be able to deploy and get our template right. Then we see that this simulates an ISP link environment or a site-to-site link environment whereby the branches have two ISPs, terminated with them, and they want to use that to form an underlay tunnel to consume traffic application at the head office. And so the two links will participate in the SD-WAN functionalities and all that. So let's get straight into the demo. So once we have our FortiManager, the FortiManager is sitting here, and it has been launched. So one of the things you want to do is to create an add-on, and we are using the existing add-on in the FortiManager, and we have created it as SD-WAN. So now one of the things we need to do is to add, is to create the group in the FortiManager group and devices. Let's create group before we add each of our SD-WAN group. Create new. The first thing we want to create is the hub. Let's name it. Let's name it as let's name it Acme. So now Acme, inside this Acme, we also need to create another group for the hub. So we have Acme hub. It's another group, which is an Acme spoke. Okay. Now let's insert this Acme hub and Acme spoke into the Acme. So edit this, edit group, then add member 1, 2. Okay. Okay. So now we have Acme hub, and Acme spoke. Then well, another thing is to add our devices each. So because we are using an extended LAN, and each of those devices, regardless of where they are, has to be reachable. Then let's add the hub device. Let's discover hub device is 192.125.251. Okay. So at the interface of the management interface that we are connecting to, need to enable FMG. So under here, this is okay. Under management connection, so let's enable FMG access and also probably security fabric connection from the hub before adding it. So go back to FMG, then login via legacy admin. So using the username and password, then add the first device. So we have the first device being added. Um, let's just add something. So on the BR, let's just enable uh, FMG access on the management interface. So on the management interface here, we have this management interface. Management interface here, we should enable FMG access and okay, it's enabled. So come back to FortiManager, just click import later. We'll come and deal with that. So the next thing for us is to add the first spoke to FortiManager so we can start building our templates with it. So let's add new. Okay. Don't forget that what I'm currently using, the version of operating system is 7.4.4, and the header also is 7.4.4. Then we can give this a name as branch one, FGT admin. Okay, next. So let's install that and we'll get started from there. So let's import later. Now we have our hub. We can name our hub. Let's edit and give it a name as data center Acme. Is just for us to have a good naming convention. So now we have, if you go to the hub side, on the hub, port 6 is ISP1, port 7 ISP2, then port 5, which we have not yet connected, is our LAN interface. On the branch 1 as well, we have ports 6 ISP1, port 7 ISP2, then port 5 as the LAN interface. Then we want to be able to let's try and put this in their specific group. Then come to Acme Hub, edit group, add member, add okay. Then add the spoke, edit, add member, branch. Okay. Okay. Now we have data center Acme device in the Acme Hub group and the branch one in the spoke one. So as soon as we're done with templates, we can add all of our spoke devices in this group and the whole come up. Then that's the first stage. Then the next thing is for us to start with our provisioning templates. We'll start with the system system templates. So coming to provisioning templates, let's start with the system template. Let's create new. Let's create a new template. We'll name the new template underneath all sites. Then this template is for the hub and branch devices. Then let's create our DNS. If you have internal DNS, you can put it here, the primary DNS and all that. Then under the interface select method, here we have to select the SD-WAN interface. Then under the log settings, send logs to FortiManager. If you have a FortiManager, you can send logs to FortiManager Cloud or FortiManager or FortiManager. Here we have FortiManager as our to act as a FortiManager. So we can act as send this to this manager, or we can specify IP address FortiManager. Encryption none. Then send logs to system no. Then let's move further. Under this, we have create interface. Show interface bandwidth. Then this has to be port 6 and port 7. Okay. Then add another one. Okay. Then so we need to click OK. So this is a system template that we've created. Let's create an SD-WAN template for the hub. So create an SD-WAN template. So let's create. This is the one that will be on the C that we have SD-WAN template for the hub device. So check the status, then leave everything as blank, and let's create a new zone. Create a new zone, and it's 1-1. Click OK. Create another one and name it 1-2. Don't forget this is for the hub aspect of it. Then create for the VPN as well, a zone for VPN. Name it VPN zone. Create new member. Let's create new member. Create new member for the 1-1. 1-1 is port 6, which is the first ISP level. So you had it as a member, port 6. Then click OK. Then 1-2 is port 7. So select 1-2. Okay, so you can see. Then we'll create a member for the VPN LAN for VPN 1 and 2 on that. So for this, we have create member VPN 1 and add it as under VPN. Click OK. So one of the things you need to do, let's click OK. Let's just click OK and exit this for now. So before you exit, I think just delete all this. Under the performance SLA, delete the existing one. We are going to come back and also define specific SD for what we currently have. So here we're creating, okay. So now we have the template, SD-WAN template for the upside. Then we'll go to policy and objects and see the normalization for interface normalization for this. So let's try and click on SD-WAN, search SD-WAN. So under SD-WAN, we see that we have normalized interface for which we just created, which is fantastic. Then, so now let's create SD-WAN template for the branch as well. Coming to provisioning template, under SD-WAN, let's create for the branch as well. We have SD-WAN branch. Then under this, give it a description, which is template for branch. Then click the status as OK. So click OK. Well, we can go back to the SD-WAN branch and just come and delete this performance SLA. Okay. Next thing is to create SD-WAN overlay template, and coming to the provisioning template as well, we'll move straight to the SD-WAN overlay template, which is let's look at the under feature visibility. We have VTP. So under feature visibility, we should bring up some new features which has SD-WAN overlay template in it. And let's just click OK. So now we can create SD-WAN overlay template here. Then let's create the SD-WAN overlay template. So we have different topology, but the topology we are using is the single hub topology, like I showed previously in the diagram. We only have one hub, and that's what we are going to use. Then select the hub, and after this, don't just leave every other thing as default. And okay, then click next. So now under this, select the data center hub, which is a standalone hub. Then we need to also select spoke. So under device group assignment, you're selecting the group that the spoke belongs to. The branches devices, the group that we created the other time. Then so we click next. Under this, would begin to assign our ports. The first port is port 6, which is the LAN 1. Port 6. And under port 7 is the second one. Then the interface for the LAN is what? Port 5. Under this, you check in your route map in, and you select RMVPN priorities being selected. Then under here we have for the branch aspect, because we will be using a lot of devices and all that, and we just want to be specific. So we use the $sign and select the ISP link, which is ISP1, ISP2. Then under the network advertisements, we are putting on port 7. So which can be a metadata. These are part of the metadata which I'm going to show you in the other one. So for here, we define this metadata for VLAN LAN so that whenever we have any connected devices, we're able to select that as well. So this is just to specify. So we're using this as metadata for this one for our. We're using this metadata for our branches because we can have different branches and different devices under the branch, which we are also going to define in the metadata, which I'm going to show you in the coming scenarios. So under here, we have route map out as priority 3, route map out as preferred priority 1, then click next. Let's select the underlay template that we created for the branch. Then check this, then we need to also define the policy package for the branch, which we're going to quickly do. Name it site based, yeah. So select this as the policy package. I'll click next. So let's review what we've done. Finish. Okay. Then the next thing is template review, which we've actually done. And let's go to the template review for the IPsec tunnel that was created. This is IPsec tunnel that was created. See, this is tunnel 1. So under this IPsec tunnel, I want us to, these are tunnels that was created by SD-WAN templates. So come to the SD-WAN template under here, the preset key. So give it a significant preset key so that we can okay. Then go to the hub as well. Same preset key, which is unique. So let's review this. We have under the BGP as well. We have this also being configured for us. So you can just review that once this, but we have the valid templates being configured at the moment. Let's see the policy package that was for the branch sites. So if you look at this, so let's try and define one. So on branch site, let's quickly create policy package for both traffic in and out. So VPN in, and so it selects of one. Okay, then outgoing interface, it's port 5. That is our LAN interface. The source, let's take our sources as all for now. Destination as let's take the RFC 19 GPR as our destination and as our source. That contains, the most of the local IP addresses we're going to use. So for this, other things, accepts, no nothing for now. Have okay, change request. AP. So let's create for outgoing traffic from our branch. So we have port 5. So interface, select for the outgoing interface to be up 1. So source should be the RFC and destination RFC. Well, depending on what you know want to achieve, you can define your source and destination based on what. For this, we use the RFC 1918 GRP for that. So change nodes VPN out. Okay, so we'll create for internet access for our users as well locally, which is internet out. Internet out. So incoming interface will be port 5. Going interface will be 1 and 1 2. So source would be from the RFC 1918 GRP. Then destination will be all. Then we have to also accept and also enable NATing because of our internet facing addresses. Then let's click internet policy. So we have our policy package defined for our branch as well. Okay. Then so if you look at the template group that we have, let's go to the template group. We need to, so we have this template group for site up 1 and up 2. And this is the template group that will be used for any of our devices that will be either at the upside or at our branch. So if you have multiple branches, you can use this template to push policies and configurations to the new site, and that will also make the new site participate in the hub-and-spoke topology of the SD-WAN that we've created. So the next thing is to create and update our metadata variables. So if you go to the CL using the CLI script, let's go to script, then create new script. Then under this, so FMG variables, then creating and updating the metadata variable, and the type here is script. We're using script, and run script on the policy package ADOM database. I'm going to share the GitHub link for this script so you can be able to have access to it as well yourself. But remember, so if you look at what we have in this come to templates as one of our templates. So remember that we have this metadata being defined for our branches, and it's part of what we are meant to also define in this script that we want to update. So if you look at this, we have the Acme, the data center Acme value. So looking at this edit EPS, so this is for the ISP1 variable that we've defined in the metadata should be as port 6, which is ISP1. Then you can see that this is the branch value name, and it's also valued as port 6. So we've defined the variable and metadata to be identified as this. So any of the devices connecting at each branch and all that will always use port 6 as ISP1. Then if you look at the ISP2, we also define the metadata and the value to be port 7 for that. Then for the LAN ports which the users are connecting to, we also define variable and metadata to have value as port 5. And all this has been, then click OK. So next thing is for us, to run the script. So we run the script. So let's run now. Okay. Now we have run the script and updated so when you come to advanced under policy and objects, see all these being updated. You can see the metadata variables. VLAN1 has been assigned as port 5, ISP1 port 6, ISP2 port 7, then others as well. Now let's move forward. So if you go to the FortiManager groups and right click on this and go to edit variable mapping, you would see that this has ISP1 port 7, port 6, then the LAN interface as what? Port 5 as the default value. So now we want to update the template groups. So going to the template groups, we need to update them. So go to professional template and template groups, then select the site hub, which is this. Then what we want to add here is the system template that we created initially, which is this. We add this to it. Then we also had the SD-WAN templates that we have for the hub. Don't forget, this is the hub template. You click on the hub, then you click on OK. Okay. Then at the branch level, we also need to update this, which is having these system templates included. And also we have, okay, this is one template has been included. So click OK. So we have our templates updated. So let's create firewall policies for for the hub. So coming to the hub, system policy and firewall policies, see a package. So let's create new. Let's name it sites. Okay. So under this, let's create a firewall policy for. So we have VPN in, same as stage loop, the loop back of we're going to create that was created. This was created during the source has to be the RFC, same destination. Then we have set, no not change notes, VPN in. This is at the up side. Then let's do VPN out. At this, we would have from VPN and interface, then with port 5 as well. Then outgoing interface will be VPN. Set. Okay, then internet out for at the hub. The port 5, going interface has to be 1.1 and 1.2. So all as source. Let's use the RFC and destination all. Accept, then use NATs, and also okay. Okay, we have this configured. Then we can also include this in the installation targets. You come to installation targets, we have to edit and also add Acme Hub as installation targets. Okay, then let's install the firewall policies on the hub. So come to store wizard, hub 1, next. Okay, so let's install. Okay. Oh, there's conflicts. Let's resolve these conflicts. Then go to so always retrieve config, resolve conflicts. Then we can push it back. Okay, so let's go back. So we have it synchronized. Let's go to our hub and let's see what has been done. So we have this being pushed. Then let's go back to the FortiManager and let's also install for a branch as well. So if you come to this branch and policy and objects, installation targets. So we have the admin. Then the next thing is just to install the wizard. So install. Okay, finish. So the first thing we want to confirm is this. The two devices are up and running. Let's confirm the VPN tunnels. Wow, our VPN tunnels are up. This is from the hub, and this is the branch device. So we have the hub and we have the branch device. So looking at this, so this is branch one and branch two. This is branch one, and we have two tunnels connected to this as well. Then if you look at the firewall policies, so we need to connect this LAN cable. But before we do that, we need to now define, SD-WAN from the branch. So from the branch, we need to define SD-WAN policy, which has to do with coming from here to templates, the best manager templates. Then under SD-WAN, this is the branch we are focusing on. So now we need to define a performance SLA for. So if you look at this from the network SD-WAN and performance SLA, we have our tunnels put up to that IP address, which is the loopback interface at the hub. So this suggests that our SD-WAN is currently working, which is, so if you look at this, we have this. We need to create SD-WAN rule from for the branches. So for now, we have on the hub, we have 5. So let's connect a cable to number 5. Let's create an SD-WAN rule for the branch. So for here, we'd have let's leverage on the performance SLA that we have here, which is what's created for us by default doing the template configuration, which is the loopback interface of hub, which is this. So we're trying to monitor this interface here, 253. So now let's create an SD-WAN rule to hub address. So now from the source will be majorly from all the users, just a general SD-WAN rule from all the users within the subnet to destination, address destination will be to hub general SD-WAN rule. So to be to this address 10.10.10.0 network, which is let's create a new file policy hub address. Then /24. Then change nodes address. Okay. Then want to use best quality interface preference, the two hub. Don't forget we're doing hub and spoke. So the two tunnels created assigned here. Zone preference, the hub zone. Okay. Then we have the SLA, which is the performance SLA that we created. Then we also need to just click OK. So we have our first SD-WAN rule created. Let's also create one to the loopback interface, so we can be able to reach that loopback interface from there. So from the branch as well, create loop. Then address, let's create a new. /32. Then change nodes. Click OK. Then select the hub loop back as no, that's the destination. That should be the destination. So select all. Then destination address as public back. So the hub loop. Then let's use best quality. Okay. Then let's create an just an SD-WAN policy from here. At hub end and source stage. So destination will be to the sites, which will be address. Okay. Now let's push this to the hub, to the branches. So use install device only, especially for the branch, which is as Ahmed spoke. Let's update it. Okay. So now let's go back to branch one, come to network interface SD-WAN rules. So we see uh, from all to the loopback interface and all that, and also to the hub addresses. Then we have the performance. Now, so coming to here on this is the branch and this is the hub. So at the branch, we have this LAN interface as port 5. So let me try and connect the LAN interface with port 5. So this is port 5. And looking at DSCP clients, then we have this on port 5 as well on the branch. So let's try and ping 10.10.1, 10.10.10.1 from branch 1. So execute ping. Now we're able to reach it. Now on this upside, we have a DHCP client. We have a system connected to it, which needs to be reachable from the branch. If you come to DHCP monitor, and let's see what is behind. So we have this. This is 10.10.10.2. This is the hub. Let's try and ping it from the branch. This is working well. Then let's now source from, address of the branch interface. On this LAN, let's source from it and see whether we'll be able to reach. So this is the LAN on the branch side. We're trying to source from that IP address 10.10.10.1. Yeah, we're able to reach it. We're also try and we're able to reach it. So what we want to do now is to ensure, let's see on the branch side, let's see an SD-WAN on the hub. See the two tunnels are hub, which we're using to reach, reach traffic from here. If you look at this, we'll see a lot of traffic on this, which is VPN in. Is that under this BGP template for the site and the hub, I want us to change the old time and keep alive time. If you look, old time should be 15. Then the keep alive should be 5. So don't forget we change it on the branch. So let's go back to the hub. Then we have 15 and we have 5. Click OK. So what we want to do is to install the device only so that it can take effect. So let's only install on the hub the group that we created. So now coming back to this, we want to try and do a continuous ping and test, the convergence, the failover, if it will work. So currently, based on the latency, we see that up to has lowest latency and is being used for our traffic. So that means that if we take a look at this, we have port 7 being used. We'll disable port 7 and do a continuous ping and see the results. So from the branch 1, execute ping option source. Let's source from 10.10.11.1, then execute ping option repeat 4000, then execute ping 10.10.10.2. So we have a continuous pinging. What we want to do is to disable port 7 and see how we're going to react. Currently, we change to port 7 and we don't even notice. You see that if you look at here, there's a change. This change instantly. Wow. So if you look at what we have now, port 7 has been disabled on the BR, SD-WAN rule. And what we currently have is that port 1, the Valley tunnel built on port 6 is being used for our traffic. Can you see? So let's bring back port 7. Let's bring back port 7 and let's disable port 6. So let's bring back port 7 is back. So under here we have the tunnel is back. So port 7 is back. Now let's see what we're using to pass traffic. If you look at this under the SD-WAN rule, port 7 up to VPN 2 has taken back the so it was very swift. Let's do it again. Let's take out port 6. Let's see if there's any issue. Let's take out port 7 as well. Can you see? No more working. The two tunnels are done. Okay. Enable. So let's see what's up. Tunnel has come up. So tunnel is up. Okay. So continue. As the one is working, then go back to your one and enable the second tunnel. So you can have, or from the FortiManager, you can create a lot of scenarios, a lot of SD-WAN rules from the branch to the head office, specifically to applications and servers and all that. Just play with it and you're going to get it. Then coming to the second spoke. So we've done this. So we've been able to do this. Yeah, we've been able to configure this. These two tunnels are up and running, working back to back. So in order to now add this, so what you just need to do, I will leave you to do this, is to ensure that all these parameters has been defined on the FortiGate device you want to add for the second branch, the LAN interface, and the port 5, port 6, port 7, majorly are just done. They've been configured to do that. Then add the FortiGate to the FortiManager, add the FortiGate to the FortiManager and the FortiManager in this group. Once you add it to this group and it's added to this group, don't import the configuration after adding. Just ensure that they're in this group, and you also, in adding, I don't have the FortiGate device here. You also include all the training template for the site branch alone in it. Once it's been added, the next thing is just for you to push, and the site will be up and enjoy this book. In case you don't, I think this is helpful. And one of the things you also want to do is to have the monitor interface. If you look at this, we have you can also monitor the SD-WAN. This we have the branch, the ISP links, and all that. And if you double click it, it gives you more information. You see, when we were trying to disable the interface, to see the red lines and the green lines there. So we have a lot of data that you can also play with in this aspect. But one of the most important thing here is the map view and the template view. which is meant to give you a graphical illustration of of the placement of the devices on the location aspect and all that. So going under the monitor zone monitor, you can see the system template, and you can see we have a device on the location. So if you look at this, I can, I can easily go back to the device manager and just name it under main, edit. So look at the geographical location, show map, then give it a location like VI to do like so just to name it so that I might be able to see it on the map appropriately. And the spoke as well, I can also edit, show the map. Yeah, I'm seeing, let's say VI, like if it's one. So coming to the monitor, I can really have, you see, here I have tunnels within on the branch. This is, showing showing my connections from the data center to the branch. If you come to the map view, see this is Lekki and this is Ojodu, and I have them. I can easily also drill down on the template here to see the status of um, the links and what has been configured so far. This is amazing. And if any of the tunnel is down, let me bring down one tunnel. Disable ports. Let me disable port 6. So going back to the FortiManager, you would have a notification. See, this shows that port 6 is down. ISP1 port 6 is down. You can see I'm only using one link to have access to data center. If you come here, you see it shows red, and you see the links at the top here. So coming here as well, when the link is back or restored, you also have a real-time notification from so if you look at this table, okay, the link is not yet restored. It's being restored. It's not yet restored. Okay, now restored. See, now the link is up and running. The two tunnels being created. You can see the tunnels. The template view. Now we have tunnels and we have. Thank you. Subscribe. Cheers.